Well, tonight at 6 on Alaska's news source, more vetoes from Governor Mike Dunleavy ahead of the August special session. We're going to discuss some of the expected changes, including who was able to save a police dog's life in the line of duty. Plus,
I want to stress to the community that you need to tell your legislator that this is not okay.
a sit-down with the Anchorage School District Superintendent, the strong message he has regarding the future of our students after he says budget issues forced a new round of layoffs.
And have your weekend planner, where to expect rain and where to find the heat.
And counting king and sockeye salmon, we're going to take a look at this season's numbers and a look ahead in tonight's fishing report.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Happening right now, Anchorage police say shots were fired near the Sullivan Arena this afternoon. Folks gathering to watch baseball games in that area. The shots reported around 4:15. Johnson Kuhn is live in that area. Johnson, what are you hearing? What are you seeing right now?
That's right, John. Police say the gunshots came from the wooded area near the park. The baseball game nearby at Mulcahy Stadium was evacuated, and no injuries have been reported at this point. As you can see to my left here, there is a large police presence that's surrounding the stadium right now. Some streets are closed right now while the investigations are ongoing. A Street and Gamble are closed between Fireweed and 15th Avenue due to that large police presence. Police are asking everyone to avoid the area while they investigate. As of our latest information just before the show, no suspects have been identified. Police are asking us and the public to not show anything tactical until the situation is over, and we'll obviously update you with more information once that's released. John?
All right, Johnson Kuhn reporting live for us tonight down near the Sullivan Arena. Johnson, thank you. Canine officers as collateral damage. Tonight, that's the strong language an Anchorage paramedic is using about Governor Mike Dunleavy's most recent veto. The governor says it's because of veterinarian concerns, but bill supporters tell political reporter Will Courtney first responders need a law change to save police dogs. Will?
John, the bill at the center of this starts with an Alaska State Trooper canine officer being shot in the line of duty. His name was Rico. After he was shot chasing a suspect, his partner tried to drive to a hospital. In that time, Rico could not get the medical care he needed and died. Under Alaska law, any help from his partner, or a first responder for that matter, beyond first aid can risk misdemeanor charges. The Anchorage paramedic who said he felt compelled to help write this bill, which was called Rico's Law, passed the legislature 54-6. He says it's an attempt to fix that.
We had a couple EMS services who provided what I call point of injury care and transport to some operational canines, injured police dogs. Well, the veterinary statutes were very clear. When you start thinking about doing advanced life support things beyond basic bandaging and splinting and that, then you start crossing over into the Veterinary Practices Act. So it's actually in the state of Alaska for EMS to be doing this care. It's actually a misdemeanor.
On the other side of the argument, the governor said in his veto statement, he cited veterinarian concerns, saying he feels a law change could blur scopes of practices, increase liability exposure, and duplicate services already available. I spoke to several veterinarians today, and one told me if these animals do not get real-time help from a vet, they could be making the problem worse. Webb said he was planning to send a letter to the governor in opposition of the veto. And in that letter, he speculated this veto wasn't about policy, but political tensions after the education funding bill's veto override, saying this bill has become, quote, collateral damage in a political conflict it did not create. John.
Will Courtney, political reporter, thank you. And for more on both of those bills, reactions from the lawmakers that sponsored them, you can visit our website or our mobile app. After narrow advancement in the U.S. Senate, the House passed the Rescissions Act of 2025, setting the country up for a $9 billion in cuts as requested by President Donald Trump. It's now on President Trump's desk, stirring mixed emotions about the future.
Clawed back $9 billion in taxpayer funds and wasteful spending, fraud, waste, and abuse.
We're concerned about this not just in coastal Alaska, not just in rural South Dakota, no, our tribal nations. We're concerned about this in Appalachia. We're concerned about this given the increased instances of flooding across the country, deadly flooding around the nation, hurricanes, tornado warnings. Public radio serves an incredibly important role.
$8 billion of the cuts are being taken from foreign aid programs, $1.1 billion of that being taken from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Alaska Public Media tells us the state will lose about $30 million in funding from the cuts alone, deeply affecting remote areas. After this week's earthquake and tsunami alerts, people who support public media funding are arguing that those are the types of things that make their line of work so important. Well, South Central Alaska being treated to some incredible weather right now. Here's a little live look outside, maybe some clouds, but it feels so nice. It's summertime in Alaska, baby. And you know, a lot of folks gearing up to head out for an adventure this weekend if you haven't already. Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry telling us what we could expect. What do people need to know, Melissa?
We're going to see pretty mild conditions this weekend. There are chances for a few showers, but they're going to be light enough that I really would not change your plans. I would just bring the proper gear for it. So take a look at those current conditions right now. A little cloud cover, but a lot of sunshine still out there. A lot of heat as well. 68 in Palmer and Ketchikan. 80 still in Fairbanks tonight. Mid-60s in Anchorage. And those temperatures not changing a whole lot as we head into Saturday. Right now you can see pretty mild conditions across most of the state. The one cool spot is on the slope, and the one wet spot is going to be the southwest corner of the state. Those showers pushing into Bristol Bay all the way up into the Kuskokwim Delta. We do still have isolated showers across the interior, and as that front that you see there in the southwest corner of the state moves on to the east, we will see increasing chances for showers, but not tonight. In the interior, it's just thunderstorms that we're seeing, especially closer to the mountains, and we're still holding on to those relatively dry and clear conditions across South Central. But look at these rainfall totals as we head into Saturday. We start the day dry, but by the end of the day, we do see those showers spreading in. So some late afternoon, evening showers possible for all of South Central. And then we see another chance for a few quick showers moving through on Sunday. So if you have plans to do some hiking or camping in the second half of the day Saturday, I would have the rain gear ready to go. But again, it's not going to be so much that we will see any major concerns from that. Temperature-wise, very similar to what we saw today. We'll see those temperatures once again starting out in the mid-50s, getting back into those mid-60s in the afternoon. Still warm in the interior, still back close to 70 in Juneau. And John will have a closer look at that full 7-day forecast here in a few minutes.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you, Melissa. More ASD layoffs were announced this week as other staff members are also facing being reassigned to another position in the district. The district says this is due to more than $14 million of education grant funding being frozen by the U.S. Department of Education, in addition to more state-level funding being cut. Georgina Fernandez spoke today to the ASD superintendent about what's coming up next. Georgina?
John, I had the chance to sit down and talk with the superintendent today discussing the 5 professional learning teacher positions that were laid off this week and what the future could hold for the Anchorage School District.
And are more layoffs coming?
Yes, they could be coming because if the federal government does not restore the full $14 million, we continue to exhaust our reserves every week.
We saw 5. How many more could be coming?
It could be more. So stay tuned on the FAQ. I don't want to bog people down with too many details now. But again, we had $14 million. It went to 0. We used our general fund to try to float these next few weeks. We're exhausting reserves as we speak, and they're not going to last forever. So you'll notice that places like the Matsu, they're still holding out for hope that the funding will come in. I've already lost hope, and I hope that somebody proves me wrong. I'd love to talk with you, Georgina, next week and say, well, I was wrong. The federal government gave us the $14 million, and now we can pick up the pieces. But frankly, the damage has been done. If you're a teacher or a staff member that was reassigned this week, you probably won't be reassigned back, because by the time we come back, it's going to be the first day of school. And what parent wants their kid to have a new teacher on the second day of school because the feds decided to give the money back on the first day of school? These are the practical implications and dangers of not funding schools on time.
Now, according to our prior reporting this week, Dunleavy says the partial veto of the base student allocation increase was considered carefully and was necessary due to given falling oil prices. John?
All right, Georgina Fernandez, thank you very much. And coming up after the break, the World Eskimo Indian Olympics drawing big crowds to the Carlson Center in Fairbanks. We're going to jump back in for the action, day 3. And this week's fishing report dives into king and sockeye numbers. We will be right back.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Well, as competition continues at WEO, the spirit of the game shined as winners of the stick pull say that they come to keep up the traditions and have a good time. Our Adrian Peterson joins us with more.
For day 3 here of the 64th annual World Eskimo and Indian Olympics, competition kicked off on the slippery side as athletes took part in the Dana stick pull. After many fell during the double elimination process, the winners would stand out as those that didn't focus on beating the competition.
A lot of these games for me are just fun, not really competition. I'm not focused on my performance. I'm just focused on having the most fun I can.
The head official and winner of the women's Dana stick pull shared that sentiment.
The fun part is just, playing with everybody. I mean, that's what these games are about, is just sharing, teaching the younger generation or teaching new athletes how to do it. And just, them becoming part of our family.
That was something Johnson got to do, beating her final opponent, Kaya Mangakot, who took part in the event for the first time, finishing in second place. Covey was also carrying on the tradition of the games.
My grandpa did these games, my uncle did these games, and now I'm carrying on the tradition and I'm doing these games.
Following the Dana stick pull was the preliminary round for the 2-foot high kick. Day 4 will begin with the bench reach in the 1-foot high kick, followed by the arm pull and ear weight. Adrian Peterson, Alaska's news source.
And more to come. Tomorrow marks the last day of WEO 2025.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.